Hello, my name is Terry Sacka, Chief Strategist at Cornerstone, and you are watching The Wealth Transfer, where we talk about global economics, biblical principles, protecting and preserving your family's wealth, as well as the church's wealth. I'm along with Dr. Charles Vance. He is a pastor, a speaker, and an author, and we're going to give you some great information regarding the Eurasian system going on and how that's going to impact our future as a church and a people.
You know what I think is cool about this program is you break things down. We try to break things down so you can understand. The news is trying to keep you in so much darkness concerning some of the stuff that's going on. They'll use acronyms. They'll use these little symbols of things and little words that they never stop and explain. We'll get into that in just a few minutes. I've got a scripture I want to share with you today. Mark 4:22, for there is nothing hidden which shall not be revealed, nor has anything been kept secret, but that it should come to light. Some revelation. We talked about revelation last week on the program.
Bring it to light.
Yeah,
and this is what we're here to do. And you know, obviously, I could get pretty passionate. I definitely, you especially bring up brothers and sisters in the military, but bringing this information to light, bringing this deception. We showed this video of people. They have no idea what real tangible assets are. They'll take a chocolate bar over something that can buy them 100 chocolate bars. We in America have to get ready because the deception is incredible. And we must prepare because the East and the West is real in its competition. And you have to know, the media, like Charles said, they're using acronyms. They're not connecting the dots, the AIIB, NDB, SCO, BRICS, BRICS. All it means is our 2/3 of the world's population is coming against the West, Europe, and the United States. Japan's in there too, but, you know, this is real because for 40, 50 years we've been used to being the dominant structure. Dominant military, which I still think we are, dominant financial, dominant currency. It's getting ready to change. Our economic system is blown up. We have printed trillions into no man's land. Europe's the same way. Greece was just the beginning. Wait till you see Spain. Oh, Portugal. Wait until you see Italy. Wait until you see this come. This is going to bring a reckoning, and something's coming from this, and so we need to get prepared because this structure of the Eurasian is redefining mainly relationships, trade routes, and all of the new future economic growth, development, and power. And it seems to be going away from the dollar in the United States. So this is why this is so important.
So it really is important to us to know what's going on around the world, not just here. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, that it's so important for us to realize that the things that are going on financially and economically in other parts of the world do affect us because we have pretty much dominated the world monetarily.
So Charles,
over the
because
years.
we've dominated, we, the people, completely went oblivious. We don't know anything about anything in the world. We're so distracted by iPhones and computers and movies and music and families, children, neighbors, you name it. We don't have time. We're a world of soundbite news, and we don't know the truth. I'm here to tell you, I could do it point by point if you want. Our mainstream news is about 80% distorted, half-truth, flat-out lie, and manipulated. I'm amazed at the highest levels of our culture and government. They flat-out lie to you. And my guess is they'll attack you. When they attack you, you know you're right. When they call you names, you know you're right. If you're an extremist, you're probably, back in the day, would be considered a holy God person. So be careful where we're going here. Our information needs to be vital for the kingdom because if we are to survive, we need to have wealth preserved, protected, not just individually, but churches, organizations, and ministries in order to keep Jesus Christ center in the message. And that's what we're here to present.
Terry, we have to be able to control wealth, or wealth in effect, and I know this is corny sounding, but wealth will control us. So if we're people that are living, and this country is living in the lap of luxury. You've been overseas, you've been in different countries, I've been in different countries, and people can say what they want to. People that are on government checks are living in the lap of luxury relative to people in other parts of the world.
Yes.
When we were in India 10 years ago, average income in India was $3 a day. When we were in Haiti, we've been there 3 times. Average income there is about $1 a day. I just read a new report just a few weeks ago. 71% of the world's population is living on less than $10 a day. There's nobody in America except for people, most of them choosing to. We've met a lot of people that are homeless people here in this area. Almost all of them choose to be homeless.
Yeah.
It's not because they have to be homeless. They get a job. There's signs up at McDonald's and Wendy's and Target and Walmart every day that you drive by.
And you know, we all try to struggle with this social dilemma. I mean, we have, what, 100 million people out of work.
But my point is it's distracting. The
Yes.
things that we have distract us from looking at what could be damaging to us
Yes.
in the future. If we keep our focus off of it, didn't mean to cut you off, but
no.
if we keep our focus off of things where that we are in control of them instead of them controlling us,
Yes.
we put ourselves in a position where wealth is going to leave us instead of come to us.
There's no doubt. And the best example I think I've ever seen in character, mind you, this is, you can't beat this. I forget the whole left-wing angle and what. I personally don't like any of them, right or left. They're all part of the same system, just one's going quicker than the other down this rabbit hole. But there's a gentleman named Dr. Ben Carson. You can't get any better than that. Now, the guy happens to be from my home turf of Detroit, but he comes from the worst poverty on the planet, starving, and yet his mother was so wise to get him to read books. He read books, came out of that poverty-stricken, abject, I'm talking horrible lifestyle, became head of neurosurgery at Johns Hopkins University. I'm sorry, but anyone else in this country, you have a zip of an excuse. If that man can do it, anyone can do it. Who you putting first? God said, put me first, all these things will be added. Dr. Ben Carson is a fine gentleman of character. He understands these things, but he comes from the world that the rest of the left side of things try to make excuses for. Oh, but they need this and that. It's ridiculous. What they need to do is put down the junk and distraction and read books. That's where public libraries come in. I know it's hard, but you just ask that man his story and watch how hard can turn into great things. And I have to assume he must be incredibly wealthy. He can't be that top surgeon without it.
Anything that doesn't have any cost to you ends up having no value to you. If I keep handing you something over and over, we used to say, when my parents used to say when I was kids, easy come, easy go. It had no value to me because it didn't cost me anything. When something begins to cost something, when I pay for it, when there's some sort of sacrifice, then there becomes value in that thing, and I'm going to start looking at it differently. We've got to rise up as people with wisdom and begin to look at things and understand that something that has value is going to cost me something. And then I need to value it. I need to hold it like it has value.
And you know what's sad, Charles? Our country right now, this minute, we don't value even what we have right now.
You're exactly
and
right.
I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, we better take heed to what even you have right now. Not what we used to have, what even you have now. Because if you understood the level of the Eurasian power structure, what's going on in this agreement, you would know the crosshairs your retirement is, your standard of living, our ability as a nation. This middle class is going to get wiped clean. It already is in the last 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years. Wait. You better be properly positioned because the dollar is going to lose significant buying power in the near future. And in order to get away from that and be protected, get educated, find out why the dollar is going to get destroyed to an extent, and then get properly positioned. And here's some ways you can do that.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package of information regarding the changes to the dollar and the challenges of our economy that you need to be prepared for. This package includes how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA for long-term protection of your hard-earned wealth. For those of you with cash to invest, we can arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or simply send it to your home. Call or register now.
Now, we're speaking of the Eurasian revolution that is coming. That's kind of where all this has started. It definitely has happened. It's happened right underneath the eyes of average Western people, we the people, because our media isn't even remotely giving it respect. But the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, the BRIC nations, the Eurasian revolution is this type of connection. Just look at this. You have China, Russia, now Iran. Why Iran? Because they have all that waterway right into the Gulf out into the world. Russia or Iran is going to be pivotal in the relationship with Russia and China. Why we're going into an agreement with that absolutely astounds me. I don't get that, except the fact that see, I can't even tell you something that is good about it. We've made angry our allies, Saudi Arabia and Israel. We're empowering the world sponsor of terrorism, and somehow we think that they're going to be okay and maybe want to be friends with us. We are going to really regret this, but and I don't mean to laugh, but wow. All I know is, forget the military stuff too. I am so tired of wars because all they do is harm we the people and our families. But Iran is huge in this Eurasia. India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, 2/3 of the world's population, and then they link to these cities: Shanghai, New Delhi, Moscow, Tehran, Berlin, Paris, Madrid, Rome, Istanbul. These trade routes are connecting. Now, why are they important? They're doing it without the dollar. If we lose the dollar's ability to be center of all trade and finance negotiation, this is going to collapse in value. Its buying power collapses. Of course, this will be tremendous in value when that happens. That's why we want to position ourselves properly.
Now, the stock market's going to have to collapse as well if this collapses. Is that correct?
Oh, it will, absolutely.
Because it's all paper.
There's no doubt it will.
It's fiat.
Yeah. There's no doubt the stock market is definitely going to get hit. Our bonds will take a hit too. What we're seeing is and this is what we haven't seen in our media. There is a spontaneous, common herd of interest, mental interest, in this relationship that goes back to the 12th century. It's an ancient trade route. But see, it's important because when they have a trade route, what it really means is they have cooperation with one another. They use their own currencies, not the dollar. They control shipping, piping, rail systems, all without the U.S. and Europe and the dollar, you see.
So
2/3 of the world doing this, where are we going, right?
Will we still be buying from them? Certainly we'll still be buying
from them. If you notice, don't we? Look at our trade deficit. We buy more from them than they buy from us. We are getting ready to see a shaking in the dollar's ability to have high value. And if the dollar loses its high value, we lose our buying power. Things are going to get a lot more expensive. I totally disagree that this is going to remain dominant. The data says otherwise. We're going to probably, I'm not going to speak it out more than just this, we will go to Third World War or create one to defend it, because once it goes down, man, we've seen World War I before, World War II before. Don't think it's not reasonable, but this is how serious this attack on the dollar's dominance is.
Now, this could be, and you know, it's interesting that you speak of this. This could be a war that is biblical proportions now.
There's no
because
doubt, yeah.
the weaponry that is available, you know, some of these people like North Korea, Iran's working on a nuclear weapon.
You know what, though? Check it out. North Korea, they're putzes. I shouldn't, yeah, they are. But this is not it. You remember the stock market glitched a few weeks ago back, and the airlines glitched? They had these hacking attacks.
Sure.
Our governments are getting hacked and attacked. This war is going to be a massive computer financial hack attack. Maybe bombs drop for distraction, but they could shut us down. They could shut down our power grids if we don't watch it. They shut down our power grids. Plenty of people talk about EMP attack. There you go. But this is how real it is. Now, who are these players? Let's go to image 6, BRICS. Huge. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. This is who we're up against. There they are right there, by the way. Brazil, there's Russia, India, China, South Africa. Now, this is the group that is solidifying the 5-point block, the first projection. They cannot be overlooked. This is the BRICS Bank. They're doing it without us. You can take that off. Look at this BRICS cable line. This is established through the routes. Now look at that. Starts up in the upper right corner of Russia. China comes around. Singapore, that's why we're trying to do the TPP, which we'll get to.
What are you talking about, a cable line?
I'm just saying this is the line of trade.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Watch this. And then you had India, and then you have down to South Africa, Brazil, up to Miami. Look at how they're dominating this world. Okay, you can take that off. What is this producing? We had it before. It's the East versus the West. They're basically trying to take down our dominance. And if they do, of course, we keep saying it 100 times, it takes down our dollar, our ability to buy, our ability to protect our family and have things in the future. Image number 8. This is a real place where it's going. This is the G7, which are the European leaders, versus the BRIC leaders. And you don't think this is real? World War II started far less than this. Okay, you can take that off.
G7, tell the people again.
G7 would
BRICS.
be G7 would be the countries of the United States,
Okay.
Canada, England, France, Japan. You know, the main Western dominant,
Gotcha.
IMF dominant, World Bank dominant, United Nations kind of created dominant West. We won the World War II West.
Okay.
The BRICS are the result of we are tired of the United States dominance, pushing us around, taking our money, spying on us, and basically doing whatever they want at no cost. They're creating their own world structure. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Now we're throwing Iran in there. Now we're throwing Afghanistan, Pakistan. Why do you think we're in Afghanistan? Why do you think we're bombing? You think it's Osama bin Laden? There is really reasons why we're positioned militarily in this region to try to make sure we can maintain dominance and destabilization for the rise and creation of this Eastern threat. The threat is to our dollar and our control of trade and finance. And it directly impacts our future as a lucrative, wealthy America. I think those days are gone. You think today what you see in unemployment, the ability to buy, inflation, you think it's getting better? I just don't see how in any way we're going to have that kind of wealth transfer again for some time until the dust settles through what's coming.
Now we could, because even people during the Great Depression, there was more money made
Good point.
by people who were prepared for the wealth. The wealth has got to go somewhere. This is not going to disappear. This stuff is not going to disappear.
Transferring.
It's transferring. So we have to set ourselves, position ourselves, so that the wealth can be transferred to us instead of away from us.
That's a very good point, and this is exactly what's happened. Let's go to image 8, and then let me review over that again. Let me just say this again, because that was a good point. I should have probably done it this way. Image number 8, the G7 versus BRICS. What does it mean? The G7 are, on the left, IMF, World Bank, the United States. On the right, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, the New Development Bank, China. That's what this is about. You can take that off. This is geographic ground zero for the convergence of economies and a new order. And it's in place, was what's amazing. And some of our, almost all of our allies are part of that AIIB bank. It's coming. Now, I just don't know exactly the catalyst. Maybe the Shemitah is part of the catalyst. Maybe it's going into the Jubilee year. Something really heavy duty is getting ready to wave through the Western world. And Greece was nothing compared to what's coming. Now, we don't know about it because we're trying to stop it. So we, the people, don't know this exists because our media doesn't want you to know that. Ukraine, directly around, within this. Syria, directly into this. We better get protected. Why is the dollar getting ready to go down? Information is paramount, and here's some ways you can go about doing it.
Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package of information regarding the changes to the dollar and the challenges of our economy that you need to be prepared for. This package includes how easy it is to roll over your current IRA or 401k into a physical precious metals IRA for long-term protection of your hard-earned wealth. For those of you with cash to invest, we can arrange to have your precious metals stored in a private vault or simply send it to your home. Call or register now.
This is so huge. I just love it. I love it because this is so real. The data I'm giving you and the information we're sharing here is so legitimately real, and yet they don't talk about it anywhere. It's so mind-blowing that they just don't do that. Now, what's really happening, now, you know, we know this, Ukraine, right? You hear about it in the stories. You know the airline that got shot over by Ukraine? Do you know there's satellite photos and they're trying to say Russia did it? You notice how it disappeared off the media? Yeah, that's because the evidence showed the West shot that plane down. All these innocent people dying for this. That's nothing compared to what's coming. Ukraine is a linchpin in this. We in the West, the United States, are forcing Russia to act the way they are. They took Crimea. It belonged to them back to Catherine the Great. So who are we to tell them? We're on their border. What would you think if we had Russia in the Mexican border, right? Well, they just probably walk in anyway since the borders are wide open. But the point is, we're pushing Russia to do this. We are pushing Russia into China's hands. They used to be kind of distrusting border enemies. Now they're actually cooperation. Do you know Russia and China are doing military drills together now? And we now are pushing Iran into the hands of Russia and China for this Eurasian. I'm amazed. The only thing I can think of as to why we're doing all of this is we're trying to force some form of a world war for massive distraction of the complete economic collapse that is getting ready to take place. That's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, maybe I'm just not smart. I had a NATO secret clearance in the Army and nuclear. Maybe that's nothing. Maybe the friends I have, they don't know what they're talking about. I just don't get it otherwise. I don't quite know why we're pushing these relationships to happen. It just doesn't seem to make sense. So it seems that a collapse is by design so then we can reinstitute more controls over the people and take more of our wealth so then we can be controlled more. It's the only thing I can think of. Now, the proof of this is in the weakness. What's happening is we are so severely in debt. We're going down in ability and influence. They're rising in the Eurasian Rim. We're falling. Now, mind you, listen to what I'm saying. We're falling. Towers, Shemitah, falling, Bible, Isaiah 9, build things without God. We fall. Twin Towers, falling. 9/11, falling. I think the next towers are the dollar. Not so sure it's a building this time. Is it the towers of this next Shemitah or the Shemitah after? These cycles play out all the way back, so we don't know the exact date and time, but if this one is any indicator, it's tightening up. Something's coming. This time, this tower is going to hurt. So they all hurt, but It's all about the currency system and the trade system.
Is this a play? Do you think this is a play to get material things away from people? Because if material things are out of the hands of the average person, then they have nothing except dependency upon a government.
You know what? I know a lot of people think in that term. I have to say I don't think so. And I'm only going to say it in this way. I'll caveat with this. I think this is a 40, 50-year policy that has basically just gone out of control. We've abused it, misused it, and now we're trying to cover it up. It's like being a young kid having a major raging house party when your parents left, and you run around scrambling to clean it up, and you didn't catch the radishes in the curtains or the broken vase around the corner, and your parents come home and find out, and now you're boom, 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 and then the cameras start exposing, and it's like we just overused it and abused it, and I think it's reckoning day. Yeah, in that sense of it, they then want to control, because they're going to try to control the fallout. But I think it's a reckoning day, and it's coming, so let's get properly protected. We're going to continue with this. Wait till you see the U.S. data. God bless you.
If you want to watch these programs again or tell somebody about the programs, they can watch on demand on our website, cornerstoneassetmetals.com. My name is Charles Vance for Terry Sacka. We're going to be back next week right here, same place and same time. We'll see you here for the wealth transfer.
Cornerstone Asset Metals has focused on using gold and silver reserves to protect your assets from volatile currencies. Another hard asset that is just as important for your sustainability is food. We believe that preparation is a key to being successful in an unstable economic environment, so we started Cam Ready Food just for you. The Bible tells us that Joseph used the resources of Egypt to prepare for a global famine by storing up food in a time of plenty. His preparation not only preserved the lives of his family, but many others as well. At Cornerstone, we believe the time is now to re-examine this biblical lesson so that you and your family can be prepared for any disaster, job loss, food shortage, or economic instability. You can start preparing today by visiting our website, camreadyfood.com, because food truly is the ultimate currency. Cornerstone Asset Metals is here to help you protect and preserve what you have worked hard to gain. For those who have IRAs to protect, 401ks to preserve, or cash in the bank, we would like to send you a package